Top five, top five, top five.
Yeah, girl, you ready to do this? You ready to count this thing down? We're doing the top five, her. Yeah, let's set it off with 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah! Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ranked Top 5 List of Stuff That Don't Matter. I'm the hero of time, Tuong La, and I'm excited because I gathered the Triforce. I guess I'm the hero of the time, but I am not part of the Triforce. I'm a special type of Hylian, if you will. My first guest, the Triforce of, let's go power. I feel this person is powerful. This person, half king, half boat. This person is Justin Godelie, everyone.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm so stoked to be here, hero of time.
How does it feel to be half boat sometimes?
It's pretty awesome. Like, I can maneuver around most of the world with relative ease. So it's handy, you know? I want to travel, I can just hop in myself.
Right,
in the end
right.
of the oceans. It's beautiful.
Question for you: how do you, get rid of your boat waste? I guess, like, do you have a secret hatch if you need to go pee or whatever it is?
I go over the side of myself. It's a weird. There's trigonometry involved, but we make it work. Anyone falling behind me is not a fan, but it's fine.
Right.
Whatever.
That's nasty. Well, Justin, I'm happy that you're here back in the pod cavern once again. I was hesitant to introduce you by your real nickname because the people in this call don't know you. This is a first. Yeah. Usually everybody knows you by your real nickname, Justin the Big Dick Godelie. And now everyone else knows too. So.
Now the cat's out of the bag or the dick's out of the boat.
Dick's out of the boat. You use it as an oar, I guess. Oh, God. And that's the type of quality you're getting today, folks. Justin, do you want to introduce the next Triforce member, if you will?
Absolutely, I do. I look at this gentleman, and I envision the Triforce of wisdom.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, we're getting it already. The magnificent bearded wonder, Spencer Moreland, everybody.
Thank you.
Hello,
that was
Spencer.
tense. That was like when you're waiting to see what the sorting hat puts you in. Like,
oh yeah.
You know what you want. You just hope that like the universe tells you what you want to hear. And thank you for that.
Interesting,
Wisdom.
Spencer. So you want to be the really, I don't think
Well,
there's
look,
a bad
power was off the
Triforce.
table.
Power's off the table. Oh, I see. I see where everybody loves power, but wisdom's a close second. Is what
Wisdom
you're saying.
is a close second for sure.
Wow. Well, Spencer, I'm so happy you're back here in the pod cavern. We haven't seen you since, you were ranking Mario songs, and that got quite intense.
It did. It was tough, and I think this one's going to be similarly tough. There's a lot of great music in this series, and
it's going to be quite nuts. Spencer, if you had to be, you can't be a boat. If you had to be another type of object in this world, what would you be?
In the Zelda universe?
Uh-huh.
Jeez, I don't know.
I see you as a
I see you as a loftwing.
Oh, a loft.
Oh,
That's
okay.
good too. Yeah. Better than an inanimate object of a hookshot.
Yeah, I was thinking like, what am I, a sword or something? A crystal? I guess a crystal ball or something.
Yeah. All right. I could see it. Spencer, we can't get started without the final guest. Can you introduce the last piece of this puzzle, the last Triforce?
Courage. This next guest had the courage to come on the show without adequately preparing. Last minute. But you know what? I think her courage is going to see her through, and we're gonna see something amazing tonight. And Kristine Shadid.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Kristine. You're here.
It is I, the unprepared one, but I've been studying.
You know what? That's all that matters, Kristine. We've planned this episode a month in advance. I just assume everyone on this call was listening to Zelda music nonstop for a month.
I have been. I've been listening to Zelda music nonstop for at least the last 2 weeks. in and out of listening to Bo Burnham's Inside. I know you would appreciate that.
I love that. I love that.
But I had it in my calendar that this was tomorrow. So it's fine because I studied and I had Post-it notes all over my desk with songs.
Good. Okay,
So I didn't come off with nothing.
Yeah.
But
I was worried. Yeah, it was like literally 5 minutes before we were supposed to start, and I sent a link. Spencer, this is one of the link jokes you can use, I guess.
You said I can point it out 3 times. I'm going to say
Point it out 3 times. Okay. And I'll try to refrain myself from making the spin attack noise like 3 times this entire show. But yeah, Kristine, I sent it 5 minutes before. I was afraid you wouldn't make it tonight, but of course we wouldn't do it without you.
I'm here. I'm ready. I've got a list of songs in front of me, and I'm excited to just anything that I haven't thought of. I'm excited to hear them, just to go back down a little bit of a memory lane.
Yeah. So everyone, we are talking about The Legend of Zelda. This is the 35th anniversary. Skyward Sword, the remastered, whatever, the HD, I think they're calling it, is coming back to the Switch, and it's got me in a Zelda mood. This is one, for me, myself, this is one of my favorite franchises, period. It's right up there with Mario. It's just, as soon as there's a new Zelda game, even if it's a remastered, whatever, I'm going to pay Nintendo money for it. I don't care if they're just putting on a new coat of paint. They're charging me $90. I know they're doing that. I'm going to buy it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just love it so much. How about you?
I feel the same.
I'm right there with you. It is probably my favorite video game franchise. It probably does beat out Mario for me. It is just it's filled with nostalgia. It's filled with this kind of sense of adventure. And you're right. Nintendo could just put a new label on an existing copy of Majora's Mask, and I'm gonna be like, well, I should probably buy that. And I do that because I'm a sucker.
How many times have we all bought Ocarina of Time? Enough, I think. Yeah. Spencer, how about yourself? You're a huge Mario guy. You're even wearing a Mario shirt tonight.
I am. It's the closest thing I had. I don't have any Zelda shirts, unfortunately. Mario, I do. I am more of a Mario guy than a Zelda guy. But Zelda, the games have had a huge impact on my life. I can kind of look back to old games and kind of remember where I was when I played them for the first time, and they're these almost like benchmarks of memory throughout my life. Going back to Link to the Past was really that first one that made a stamp on my mind and my soul. And been playing. Anytime there's a new one, I'm there. I get it right away. Opening day.
Yeah,
I'm waiting in line, getting my copy. Usually with some sort of limited edition add-ons like my Sheikah slate.
Oh yeah,
Switch.
That's pretty cool.
So cool.
Switch holder, which you could see in the group photo for this episode.
That is awesome. I remember when it came out for the opening day of the Wii. Twilight Princess was there on launch, and I was like, I gotta play this. Are you kidding me? I get to use my Wii remote as a sword. It didn't work out as well as you wanted it to, but it's still pretty fucking cool.
I get to be a wolf?
A wolf? Kristine, you have a different relationship with Zelda, right? You've basically watched your brother play it.
So growing up, for me, it was, my older brother would play every single game, and I would watch every single game. And, eventually I played myself, and I haven't played every single game that I'm probably going to be talking about, but I've witnessed them multiple times. And, when he moved away for school, when he would come visit, we would just spend the whole weekend starting and finishing one game. And
that's so cool.
So it was a super fun time. And now I've started in my in my time just buying all the games and playing them myself as well. So love them all. I feel like I grew up with them and they grew up with me at the same time, seeing as it's been 35 years of this game. So we were all young Link once.
Now we're adult Link. We've all used the Ocarina of Time. We're in the darkest timeline, and now we're going to fight Ganondorf or whatever.
It's scary. There's Cyclopses everywhere.
That scary hand that grabs you from a dungeon, that freaked the fuck out of me.
Some skeletons coming out of the ground at night.
Oh, man, that scared me too. I remember playing, going to McDonald's. And the kiosk had Ocarina of Time.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
You remember this? Yeah, it basically had a 15-minute timer, so you could only watch the beginning and run to like the Deku tree, and then it would reset on you.
Oh my god! Wow, you just brought back an ancient memory for me. I forgot about those McDonald's stations with the.
It was still
N64
awesome, though.
controllers
It was
locked
still
on,
awesome. But hey, look, like we have a huge legacy of Zelda games, and I think a huge part of it, like we all like it for different reasons, right? Like I love the action adventure aspect of it. I think it's just always such a big quest, and it just feels so grand, Zelda games, and you get to like utilize like really cool tools and shit to solve puzzles and defeat enemies, and it's just you just really get sucked into this world. And I think another part of that is the music, which is what we're going to be ranking today. There's a lot of Zelda music, and it's like Mario. I mean, I guess it's like Mario music because Koji Kondo also did a lot of this music. He's also famous for doing a lot of like the Super Mario music as well. So you're like, if you like that type of music, you probably like Zelda music as well. But would you say that Zelda, and we're not going to sing the main theme of Zelda or anything like that, but would you say Zelda music is as ingrained in mainstream society as Mario music, or it's not quite there?
No.
I don't think so.
No, I wouldn't say so. I think if somebody starts humming the Mario theme, even people who are non-gamers, like my mom knows the Super Mario theme, and she's never played a video game in her life. Where if you have the Zelda theme, that we all kind of know in the back of our brains, it's not for just gamers by any means, but it is definitely for I think a little bit more finer select group of people.
I think it's because like Mario music has come to define like video game music totally. Like like the Invincibility Star music or that 1-1 music.
Yeah.
But whereas Zelda music is just like it's like stirring adventure music,
Yeah.
Well, on to jump on that point as well, I think that Mario music still to this day sounds a little bit 8-bit or 16-bit. When you think about it, the notes are fairly, I don't want to say simple, but it's recognizable and it's easy to catch on to, whereas Zelda can be very orchestral, and it's very there's multiple different versions and reprises of songs based on the worlds, whether it's at nighttime or daytime or whatever. So I think there's a lot more depth to the Zelda soundtracks, and I think that makes it maybe harder to be so recognizable. But very, very beautiful to listen to.
Yeah, it's been quite a pleasant time listening to a lot of these songs. And just to go to the point, and I agree with everything that you all said, I think if you put on the main theme of Zelda, a lot of people would recognize it. They might not be able to say it's from Zelda, but they might recognize it. But they're not going to go like, do-do-do-do-do-do. They're not the same type of like instantly start like humming it along with you. A prime example is Laura. I asked her just like 20 minutes ago, I'm like, can you hum the main theme of Zelda? She doesn't play video games, everyone. Like she plays Dr. Mario, that's it. And a little bit of Animal Crossing in the past.
Can she sing that theme?
No, she's like, oh, I know how it goes. Dun, 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 dun. I'm like, Lord of the Rings? So she definitely didn't know. And then as soon as I started humming it, she's like, and then she filled it in. So yeah, she would recognize that one too. So yes, it all goes back to like, yes, I think the music's really good, but it needs more props, and that's why we're doing a top 5 today. So let's go into the ground rules of top 5 Legend of Zelda songs. I think basically the main one would come from a Legend of Zelda game. What I wrote in the chat earlier was that when Skyward Sword actually came out 10 years ago on the Wii, it came with 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago. Came with like this orchestral CD in the Wii box too, and I remember putting it on. It was fucking beautiful. It was just like, here's the orchestrated versions of all your favorite songs, making medleys of all of that. And I would say, as amazing as that soundtrack is, I love it to death. We can't nominate that specific version of the song because they just use a medley of a bunch of our favorite songs in like one, right?
That orchestral 25th anniversary main theme song though was my ringtone for a good 3 years.
Oh, that's awesome.
You're living life right, I gotta say.
I was. My text tone was da na na na.
That's awesome. Is there any other ground rules that we want to go through before we get started today? What about
don't think
offshoot
so.
Zelda games? There are a few. I did not include them. There's offshoot Zelda games. Let's say like Cadence of Hyrule is a
Right.
I
I wouldn't include those.
I would even consider like Age of Calamity an offshoot Zelda game, Hyrule Warriors. I'm just talking about like your main Zelda
Yeah.
whatever's in the Hyrule Historia, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would agree. Yeah, I would say we're probably not looking for like remix versions or interpretations of versions of songs or anything like that. We're looking for like
covers or we're
Cover-
from
yeah.
the from the original soundtrack.
Although in my research, I did come across some amazing covers.
Yeah.
Did you hear any metal
Yes.
covers? Because the metal covers
Yes.
are like,
Yeah.
I think that's it. My one last question is: was the ocarina cool before Ocarina of Time?
No,
Yes.
the game made it cool. We can argue about that later.
We
though.
can argue.
I
Okay.
was a child. I didn't know about Ocarina
me neither.
before the game.
I thought the ocarina was like a made-up instrument for the game. Like
Yeah.
some
Yeah,
sort of-
yeah. They invented the ocarina after Ocarina of Time. Which, again,
As far
is
as I'm concerned.
what I love about Zelda, and this is a little tangent, it just like Mario, it's changed the landscape of video games, like on its own. It changed, like every game tries to copy Zelda in some sort of form, like Z targeting in Ocarina of Time, locking onto a target, never
gosh,
existed until Ocarina of Time. When Breath of the Wild came out, it just changed what open world games can be, which is nuts. So like I
was like the biggest map too at the time, right?
yeah.
Like I remember, what was the game? Skyrim up until then had the largest video game map, and Breath of the Wild's map was 4 times the size.
Was it
I
really?
think.
Wow.
I think something like that. And when that happened, as like a little, Zelda nerd, I was like, take that, gamers! Like, my game upped yours by like 3 or 4 times. Not that it mattered or
Zelda
anything,
forever.
but I felt like proud as though I did anything.
All right, let's go ahead and get started. Just like every episode of Ranked, we're going to go around 3 times, nominating 3 nominations each, making a master list of 12, and whittling that down to a top 5 Legend of Zelda Songs list. Da-na-na-na. Let's go get started. My first nomination. This was so hard for me. I find like a lot of ranked topics, I have a hard time, but with the ones that I'm super passionate about, like this one, it is like killing your babies. There is just so many.
Jesus.
I kill all the babies. No. It sounds dark. But I'm going to go with one that is underappreciated as my first nomination, I think. It is the one that has been top of mind, maybe because of the 35th anniversary. I'm going to go ahead and nominate as my first Ballad of the Goddess from Skyward Sword. So here we go.
I just want to conduct.
This is... I just love orchestrated music. You would
Yeah.
get that from the Super Mario episode from me.
What's
it
nuts
just-
about this song, it
go ahead.
starts for 35 seconds quiet. It isn't until like the 45-second mark that it kicks, right?
Yes. Yeah, I had this song on my list too, and I made.
Yeah, me too.
I wrote a note. Started at 1 minute in.
I said 45 seconds.
But yeah, Bill.
What I really love about this is actually apparently another song in the universe, Zelda's Lullaby. It's in reverse, which is I find something I never knew for the longest time. It's amazing.
And it sounds epic in reverse. Like this feels like quintessential Zelda to me. This idea of like adventure and questing and triumph over evil.
How do you figure that out? Do you just like play your OGs like backwards and see if anything's a bop and then explore from there? That's genius. I remember when I found out about that. That's nuts. I forgot.
Yeah, I think this game it's underrated. I'm glad it's getting our HD remaster, but I think it's inarguable at least that it might not be everyone's favorite Zelda game, but the soundtrack is dope.
One of my favorites. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Justin, what do you got as your first nomination?
Man, oh man, Tom, that's a hell of a way to start start this list here. Well, for me, a big aspect of the Zelda games, and one that I really an aspect that I really enjoy is the exploration side, the adventure side of things. You know, we mentioned earlier Breath of the Wild's massive map, but a one that was kind of a precursor to that was sailing the ocean in Wind Waker. And for me, there is no song in the Zelda universe that kind of encapsulates that feeling of exploration and that wonder as Ocean, also called the Great Sea theme from Wind Waker.
I'm gonna kiss you. And I would do it anyways, but
Yeah, I know.
this was gonna be my next nomination. I didn't think
Immediately,
anyone would say
I'm
it.
transported. I'm like on
Yeah.
that boat. Yeah.
This
Guys, I came unprepared and you're taking all of my notes.
It's just like those little horns in there, and there's still aspects of it. Like a lot of the soundtrack is obviously inspired by there's like Irish and Celtic, and there's like sea shanty stuff a little bit, and they really just mix it into this theme very beautifully, and it's wonderful. I love it.
It feels like you're swaying on a boat.
Yes.
Like if you close your eyes, you're transported
Yeah.
to the exact moment where this soundtrack is the song is being used, and I get chills every time. I think it's amazing.
One thing I want to point out, and I think this comes up in a lot of Zelda music, is the call and response melodies. The dun 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 dun. Like there's like the music is echoing itself, and it makes it feel so grand and expansive. Like one part about Zelda is the original Zelda was so revolutionary because it's like the environment speaks back to you. Like you interact with the environment. That was a novel concept back in like 1986, right? And I think like the music evokes that too, with that feeling of the music coming back and forth on itself, like that engagement with the environment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I do like that too. I think Wind Waker was one of those games that I'm glad has got the recognition that it deserves as time has went on, because when it first got announced, you were talking about post Ocarina of Time. That's all people wanted was like a gritty Zelda game. Mm-hmm. And when they saw like this cel shaded Link, this little baby Link, everyone just shat on this game instantly. People were not willing to give it a chance. But this is one of my favorite Zelda games ever, or favorite video games ever. Like it is so, and in the soundtrack itself, if I have to compare like any soundtrack to like the highs that I have from like say Super Mario Galaxy, for example, like Wind Waker is super high up there for me. It is just full of amazing sounds. Kristine, you love the sea as well. This was one of your nominations.
Sure do. Who doesn't love water?
Does this make you want to be a pirate at all? Sail the seven seas on a red boat?
Oh, does it ever? Yeah. Are you fishing right now?
No. I'm just curious because this for me, like I remember this is the one song that made me want to go out on the water and like do this whole sailing business, and then I realized how hard it is to do that.
Yeah. No, this is the perfect wind in your hair, smell of water song. I think they really hit the mark with this one, and I think that's a great nomination.
Excellent nomination. Spencer, what do you got as your first?
All right, for the first pick, I'm coming out swinging. I'm going all the way back to that first time you put that gold cartridge in your Super Nintendo and closed it, pressed the button. What do you hear?
Oh my god.
Oh,
Starting with this, eh?
This contains, so there's so many different aspects of what make a Zelda game, and I think this piece here, this intro that over the title card for the first game, captures it all. It starts with that kind of what you just heard, that like has that like sense of awe and reverence of like legends and gods, but then it goes right down into this like this minor scale with this like foreboding kind of bass note where there's like, oh, but there's trouble around the corner, you know, there's monsters, dun 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 dun. And then the main theme starts getting incorporated, bringing like, but there's a lone adventurer who's gonna fight back. You know, it's telling you the whole story, and even down like there's even this section later on here. I think it's coming up.
Just bobbing my head to this. Oh, it's so good.
But here this part. This is kind of the mystery, the puzzles and dungeons. You know, like. You know, it's not just fight. It's not just sword slashing. You use your brain.
Climbing
to
your way out.
wits.
It's like a ladder almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And most amazing of all is that Koji Kondo, who we referenced earlier, who wrote this piece and the music for this game, pulled an all-nighter to write this. He had written the theme, obviously, for the overworld, but they had intended to use a piece from a German composer named Ravel, and they found out the last minute that according to Japanese fair use or what's it called, public domain laws, they were just under the wire. They're like, oh, he lived a long time ago, we're good. But it was 50. They have to have been dead for 50 years, and it was like 49 years and 11 months. It was like just shy of them being able to use it. For them to have permission to use it. So they found out, they're like, no, we want this game to come out. We've already picked our release date. So yeah, Koji Kondo stayed up all night and wrote that amazing piece of music that I feel like still sums up everything iconic about every Zelda game that's come since. You know, it just like lays out the thesis statement for that series.
Definitely. It is the song that permeates the entire Zelda franchise. It always comes back in some shape or form in like a reprise or whatever it is. And orchestrally, whenever they do that, this song gives me chills as well. Yeah.
And
So
it even does the call
it's
and response thing I was talking about before with the first couple notes of the theme. Yeah.
It's a testament to the theme too, because it hasn't changed. Like, it's still relevant. Like, you put that theme into a modern day Zelda, and yes, it's like updated sounds and stuff like that, but the actual music is the exact same, and it's still just, as the kids say, slaps. And it's so
do they still say
awesome.
that? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I haven't left the house in 17 years.
It is a bop for sure.
It's a bop. Yeah, it's a bop.
Oh man, yes, love it. All right, Kristine, your first nomination. Did we take them all already?
You took most of them, and that's fine, because that means that the top 5 is going to be easy. So I'm going to switch things up then, because it was a lot of, grand, adventuring, main music. I want to go a little bit specific for my first one, since all of my grand ones are gone. And I'm going to hit you guys with this one, which I think is just a really rad tune.
Oh my god.
Yes.
So if I think, like, what song do I bop to? It's Gerudo Valley.
We're all dancing.
Ocarina of Time. Yeah.
How does this song not make a mention on this list? It's so iconic to Zelda.
Someone was going to bring it up, for sure.
Had to. I just when you finally enter in the Gerudo Valley and kind of like it what is it? It kind of melts into the screen and the blackout turns into this level, and then you just hear the quick it's like giddy, like what's about to happen. I think this level is so cool with the Thief's Fortress and hitting the targets on Epona, and there's just so many really cool things about this level that I think I don't know, isn't in many other levels. And also, there's not many songs in the soundtracks that has like guitar as one of the most prominent instruments. So I think that's really cool.
This happens so late in the game, and it introduces like an entirely new flavor so late in the game. So it really makes you feel like you're traveling so far every time you go to a new place. And it's awesome.
So that's my first one.
Wow.
Oh, that's a hell of a nomination.
It is.
Yeah.
Didn't expect it so early. I love it. It's yes.
You know what? If I had to throw what I was like, I got to make sure I get this one in before they take it.
Yeah, good call, because I would have for sure. It's just I mean, like, you can see it on this YouTube view count. Like, it's 5.7 million views. People love Gerudo Valley. On the 25th anniversary CD, like, there is one song dedicated to making a longer version of Gerudo Valley, and it's epic.
Kristine, you mentioned that another Zelda song was your ringtone. This one was mine for the longest time.
No way!
Growing up. Oh, absolutely.
That's awesome.
A special place in my heart for the song.
Dang. Well, what a powerful round one, everyone. But guess what? We have not defeated Ganondorf yet. We need 2 more rounds. We're going to round 2. My second nomination. This is crazy. You guys also took my first like 4 nominations. I thought the Great Sea was like my like, oh, no one's gonna say Great Sea because there's so many good songs on Wind Waker. But guess what? I'm gonna nominate another Wind Waker song. And you probably know what it is. You all probably know what it is. There's another 2 that I would also nominate, but I'm really feeling this one. Here we go. We're talking about Dragon Roost Island. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, I love it.
I am back, like, traversing this mountain now in my head. Like, I'm climbing those steps, and oh my god, it's beautiful.
And Kristine, like you were saying about Gerudo Valley, this song does a similar thing right at the start where it goes ding, 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 and then it just like, it stops and then goes back to the castanets and then builds back up.
It's
almost like the song knows how good it is and just like peaks up at first.
It
like,
teases.
Yeah, exactly.
It like shows off its shoulder and then it...
It knows what it's got. It knows what it's working with.
It knows it's hot.
And like the bass line hasn't even come in yet.
Oh, I adore this song. I so sad they haven't put the Wii U version on the Switch yet, because apparently that version is very good. Most people did not buy a Wii U.
I want to buy this game for every system I own.
Yeah, it's like exactly it. Oh man. That's Dragon Roost Island, everyone. One of my favorites on the Wind Waker soundtrack for sure. Justin, what do you have as your second nomination?
How the hell do you follow Dragon Roost?
With whatever you're gonna say, probably, because I know it's gonna be good.
I think all of these songs that we've put in so far have been very like upbeat and very happy. They instill a wonderful memory, and this next song will instills wonderful memories for me as well. But it is certainly not an upbeat tune. This is from Majora's Mask, widely considered probably one of the darker entries in the Legend of Zelda universe. And I have no qualms in saying that listening to this song, especially when kind of played over the time that it's played in the game, it gets me kind of emotional, to be perfectly honest with you. This is from Majora's Mask again. This is the Song of Healing.
This is a beautiful one.
Yep. It is. It is different than the rest of what we got. I like this change up here.
The beautiful thing about this song is that this song plays frequently throughout Majora's Mask, and the Majora's Mask is about death and the end of times and things like that. But it's all about these kind of little relationships that are mended, that are healed throughout the course of the game, especially because of your actions in the game. And every time those relationships are healed, this song plays in some form or another in the background, and it's this kind of. It's like the second overworld theme of the game, and it's so beautiful and so moving and very different from what you're kind of used to hearing in a Zelda game.
I've got chills.
Yeah. It's called Song of Healing, and it's like, but you can hear the pain in it as well. It's like this pain, but also but hope as well, which I don't know. This game almost has a very mature perspective on death and healing and these very like really human concepts. It's more than you expect from a video game.
I wish more people liked it. I love Majora's Mask. At first I did not, because it scared the shit out of me. That moon is scary.
Yeah.
It's a scary looking moon. And also, I don't think as a kid I could put together, like, there's like a complex structure to that game where it makes you remember what you're doing on certain days. And I could not wrap my head around it as a kid. It took
Confession
the 3DS
time,
version.
I still haven't.
Oh, you haven't? Yeah, the
Played
3DS version.
I've never been able to beat it. I always because I'm a pick up and play guy, and I sometimes let games sit for a couple weeks. If you let that game sit for a couple weeks, you come back to you're like, I don't know what was happening, because not only like your progress sort of resets and you're back at the start of the time cycle, and you forget what you were trying to do. It's tricky.
Yeah, I have that problem a lot. I'm the kind of person who will play a game up until like the very end, and then I'll put it down for way too long, because either I don't want to finish it or I'm scared to fight the final boss, and then I get back to it and I'm too rusty to beat it. But I personally have not played Majora's Mask. It scares me too much, but I love to watch that one. It's probably one of my favorite to watch.
Nice.
Justin, how about yourself? Have you beaten Majora's Mask?
I have. I've spent way too many hours in Majora's Mask. Yeah, growing up, me and my brother would kind of tag team this game frequently, and we've beaten it a few times, and it resonates with me so strongly that there are times where I think I enjoy it more than Ocarina of Time, and it would still be kind of an internal debate whether I do or not, because I really enjoy the themes. I really enjoy the mechanics of the game, as odd and challenging as they are. I really like the shift in the game. So no, I love this game so much.
Yeah. It was definitely a really interesting footnote in Zelda's like history. I mean, like on the Hyrule Historia, the official timeline canon of Zelda, which is also kind of hilarious that they try to justify when each game was. But Majora's Mask is apparently when Link loses the fight against Ganondorf, and that's why everything goes wrong. And I love that idea that they split the timeline. Yeah, it's just stupid, but also amazing.
It's like an official fan theory from the company themselves. Like, it has that same texture to it.
Totally. A great nomination, Song of Healing. Spencer, what do you got as your second nomination?
Okay, so one thing we haven't talked about yet, and I think it's maybe an undersung aspect of the games, is, of course, there's adventures and puzzles and stuff, but while Link is out around saving the world, people are just going about their lives, and there's always nice pieces of music that kind of represent the sort of like daily lives of the characters in the world. And this one's from Skyward Sword. This is the Skyloft theme.
Oh, it's beautiful, this song.
I love this one.
Oh, so lovely.
And this one, like Kakariko Village and those kinds of songs, they sort of and represent this sort of simplicity of daily life. Like, you know, you're just the baker. You bake the bread, and that's your role in the town. And you go back
you're
to
not
your
the
nice
hero
cozy
of
home.
time, but you'll bake the bread for the hero of time.
Someone's got to bake the bread, right? Someone's got to milk the cows, so Link has milk to drink.
Yeah.
These songs I love because they have such a like an innocence to them. They remind you of the innocence of the worlds that they're being set in, and like it's like a, in a lame way, it's like, oh, this is what I'm fighting for, like just real life sort of shit.
Exactly.
That's not lame. That's cool. I like it. It's like it's like Shire music in the way, like Lord of the Rings type of music. It's like, this is like the starting point. This is like peace, right? And if we don't fight, then we don't get this lovely soundtrack anymore. We get Majora's Mask instead.
And the reason I love this one in particular is there's so many instruments in this song. There's like there's ones I can't even identify, but there's like accordions, there's like flutes, there's trumpets, but it doesn't feel overstuffed. It almost feels like each one is like a little character walking around the town. It's like, oh, there's the dancing couple, oh, there's the baker, there's the blacksmith. Like, they all like weave in and out through the music. It's really cool.
I pictured the dancing couple from Majora's Mask who are in the courtyard outside. They're so cute.
Wow, I like this change up of energy that we got from like, you know, high energy, high adventure to now like this peaceful and quiet. So like, yeah, Zelda has it all, baby. Kristine, where are you gonna put your nomination in this like energy that we have?
So I've changed what I'm gonna give in right now because I want to match the energy that's happening. Because I love the idea of going from the giant orchestral to now the nice like small. Not small, but the like comforting, cute, day-to-day stuff. Because I was gonna go with another orchestral, so I am gonna pitch this one, which I have a very close connection to. But I don't know if this is silly.
Yeah, sure.
But in Ocarina of Time, I just realized both of mine are from Ocarina of Time. That's not good. Okay, I'll change it up next time. But at the beginning, when you're trying to get into Hyrule Castle to meet Princess Zelda for the first time, and there's all these guards, and you have to sneak by them, and it's like the first like big mission you have to go on in Hyrule, and you're just sneaking around the whole place. I don't know. I have a very close connection to this one.
Gotta avoid the guards and stuff like that. And if they catch you, all they do is boot you out and you try it again.
You get to try again. And it's so much fun. So similar to just, you know, everybody's just living their lives. This is just, the guards are doing their jobs and they're doing it to this jaunty tune.
I like it. It's like silly and whimsical and mischievous. And I find like all Zelda games have pieces of music that are sort of like this that almost put a little smirk on your face just by the sound of them.
And
They
this
sound
song-
like they're up to something. Yeah.
But that's the thing, is this song has no, like, pressure to it, but the amount of pressure you feel playing this round is heavy.
I love it. That's
I
great.
just imagined. I remember like just like going on those like the traverses of like going over the guards and they're
Yeah.
like covered in vines sort of thing. I'm like, just don't fall, don't fall, don't fall, and then I would invariably fall and be an
course.
idiot.
Yeah. Oh, great nomination. This I like it too because it's silly. But it's also it's young Link time, right? Like it's before he even gets his anything. I'm pretty
It's
sure.
before
Like,
it becomes a darker game.
exactly. So yes, great. We're going into the third round here of nominations. I'm stalling a little bit because I'm just all over the place here because I have a lot of like adventure and then I have a couple like quieter ones and part of me wants to nominate another Wind Waker one, but I'm like, we already have two of those things. Do we need a third? Okay. All right. Enough stalling. I'm going to just go for it. I didn't think I'd nominate it tonight, but it is, it's always in my head and I need to do it. So here it is. This Zelda game, I would say, is probably my least favorite Zelda game. And that's, it's a weird thing to say. I still like this game, but I never finished it. It doesn't do it for me in terms of gameplay or anything, but in terms of the music and its main theme, it just blows me out of the water. I am talking about the Spirit Tracks.
Oh.
Oh yes,
Just listen
sleeper
to this.
hit.
We love the fast little...
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a couple of those.
Yeah, the Spirit Tracks overworld theme is like also it's ripe for adventure, you know? It's Zelda in a nutshell. And I think like again, say what you will about the actual game itself. I think it's like kind of fine, but this made me want to keep playing the game because it has music like this in it.
I have not played
Tung,
this one.
I love that you nominated this one, Tung. This was on my list. Like it's underrated in my opinion, but yeah.
You haven't played this, Spencer.
I actually own this game, and I still haven't played it. I know this music from Smash Brothers, though.
If it's good enough to make it in Smash Brothers, it must be
Yeah.
good. Kristine, yourself, have you played Spirit Tracks before?
I haven't. So I'm very, very sorry.
That's okay. What did you feel from that sound, in the music? Did that
Joy,
do anything for-
adventure, riding a train, perhaps?
Yep, you do a lot of that. Justin, you have played this game.
I haven't finished it by any means, but yeah, I have played it, and I would agree with you. It's certainly not the best entry in the Zelda franchise, but even the worst in the Zelda franchise is still pretty good.
Yeah, that's how I
better
feel.
than most games.
Better than
Yes.
most
Yeah,
games.
exactly. I mean, it
I just
had a
really
tough-
like it's very different. It's very different, right? Like you're on a train. Like it doesn't make sense, but it's great. I don't know.
Yeah. It's a follow-up to the Phantom Hourglass. So that was a really huge entry for the Zelda series when they were like, let's take Toon Link out of Wind Waker, put him on the DS, and do some really cool-ass puzzles with like the dual screen and stuff like that. And I remember they got super creative with the DS puzzles where you'd like, for example, blow in the shitty microphone to like blow up like a hot air balloon, for example. Or another cool one is that you have two pieces of a map on the top screen and the bottom screen, and to like put them together, you would close your DS. And when you close your DS, it smushed the maps together, and you would hear like a da-na-na-na, and then you would open it up again, and then you've solved the puzzle. And I'm like, whoa, video games!
I solved that one by accident. I just was like, I have no idea what I have to do, so I'm just going to stop playing for a while.
Man, you did it.
Yeah. Well, I think I heard it do that, but I didn't think anything of it. I thought, oh, it took a second to like shut down or something. And then when I opened the game up again, I realized, I was like, what? And it didn't click even then that like it had been done. I was like, I thought I couldn't figure that out. And then it like slowly dawned on me. It's like, oh my God, that can't be it. That you have to close the game to like, yeah. I love stuff like that where
Yeah,
it
me
plays
too.
with the form of video games. Like, not to get off topic for a second, but in Metal Gear Solid, where
Yes.
you have to like take your memory card out to like beat the boss or whatever. you know,
Yes.
stuff like that.
That's exactly what that made me think of as well. All right, so Spirit Tracks, everyone. Justin, what do you got as your final nomination?
Can we do like each like 8 more? 'Cause
I know, right?
It's so hard to nail one down. I've got 2. They're both from Ocarina of Time that I want to put through. I think one is probably a safer bet, but I'm gonna fight for I think maybe a little bit more of an underdog track. This is the track from the first temple that you really go to when you're adult Link in Ocarina of Time.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, goosebumps. Give me the creeps.
That's right. This is the forest temple from Ocarina of Time, and I really, really love this music because again, it's the first temple you're going to as adult Link, and the world is completely changed. And this music really, there's been a lot of visual elements obviously leading up to this point that okay, the world's kind of gone to shit. But the music in this one, it's creepy. Like, it's not just dour and down, but it's creepy and unnerving. And it's not just Ganondorf has taken over, but there's also like ghosts, and there's like weird tricks, and you've got to use these new weapons that you've never used before. And it's a lot of very new type of mechanic to the game. There's also a lot of nuance to this temple. And it's like there's like almost 2 temples in this one temple. Like, you collect all the ghosts and then you go to the rest of the temple sort of thing. And it's a very different entry compared to the rest of the soundtrack, I think. But it works really well. Yeah,
I'm so glad you picked this one. This was one of my dark horse entry that I was torn between this one and another one. And I'm glad you did. It freed me up to not, have that dilemma. I love this one too because there's a lot of dungeon music in Zelda games, especially like Ocarina onwards, goes for that sort of like, it's just atmospheric, ambient, and sometimes it feels sort of just like, it's just like sort of like mood, it's sound effects. But this one, it's almost like it's more tactile. Like, it almost feels like bone, like in cartoons when skeletons play their rib cages like xylophones. Like, you almost can. Why it's creepy is because you hear the sounds and you can almost like imagine what it is around the corner that's making that sound. It isn't just some disembodied sound. It kind of goes like, ooh, what's making that little chirping sound, those 2 notes, the do 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 do. It's like, is that like some weird like bug or ghost?
Is that a spider falling from the ceiling?
Yeah. It's very mysterious. I dig it a lot. Wow, that's a great nomination. I was not expecting this one, but I love how varied our list is right now. Spencer, what are you going to bring?
Yeah, okay, so that freed me up to pick this one. This song was originally from Link to the Past, but I'm picking the version from A Link Between Worlds, which was sort of
I like that game.
An awesome kind of reimagining of that game. And this is the Dark World theme, which got rebranded as the Low Rule theme.
Low Rule.
Yes.
Yeah. When I read that the first time, I lost it.
Yeah, I know. It's like a dad joke almost.
It's so cheesy. I can imagine the pitch meeting.
Yeah, but the reason I had to bring this one up is because one of the most significant... There's 2 moments that define my experience with Zelda. And one of them was in Link to the Past, where you beat the first 3 dungeons, you beat the wizard, and then you get sent to the Dark World. For me, I'm playing that game, I'm like, I got the 3 things, I beat the bad guy, I finished the game. But then you get sent to this world, and you're like, where am I now? And you open your map, and you see that there's like 7 new things to collect, and like my little kid brain exploded. I was like, what? There's like, I'm not even halfway through the game? Like, that was just like the training course for the game. Like, that blew me away. I couldn't comprehend that, and this music was playing while that was happening, so it's associated with that feeling. The other time I got that feeling was actually Breath of the Wild, where you're like, whoa, the Great Plateau, it's so big, that's such a cool environment. You leave the Great Plateau, and you start to see how big the world actually is, and I got that same feeling. Yeah. Like, how could it possibly be this big? This is ridiculous. Like,
you have so much more video game to play.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very exciting. I'm so happy you nominated this because like Dark World theme was part of my nominations too. Link to the Past was one of the most like influential games that I've ever owned on the SNES. And I think Link Between Worlds is like probably one of the best Zelda games out there.
Yeah.
It is such a worthy successor to the high pedigree that is Link to the Past. It is mind-blowingly good.
And it has I'm not going to spoil it for anyone who hasn't played it, but the final moment of that game, the final like player moment, the final thing you do in that game, the last boss is just such a satisfying moment. That's all I'll say. If you haven't played it, play it and experience it for yourself. It's great.
I think this is actually kind of reminds me of like it's like a precursor to the Breath of the Wild in the way that like with this game you can solve any of the dungeons in any order you want. And that's really cool. You just can pick up all of the like main questy items that you need. Like, I don't know, I forget what the flavors that they have in this game, but let's just say like a fire rod, for example. You can get that very early in the game, and you can go immediately to the fire rod place or whatever it is. Like you don't have to go in order.
Yeah,
and that's
because
cool.
you can rent them from the shop there.
Yeah, exactly. And that reminds me of Breath of the Wild, because that game's just like open-ended. Whatever you want to do it. Kristine, you have one more nomination. You got to bring us home.
Okay. No, just you mentioning Link Between Worlds and bringing that back, and then starting to think about when I played Link's Awakening, and then it started getting me thinking about when I would be like hanging out on my Game Boy playing Oracle of Seasons and Oracle of Ages, and I just had that in my head right now, and I was just like a little thought bubble of waking up on the beach. Anyway, I just had a moment. Okay. My last nom is coming at you from Twilight Princess.
Whoa, yes. We haven't had any Twilight Princess.
Yeah. So to me, I think, you know, you when you think Zelda, you think about all of the dungeons you go to and all of the fun characters you meet and all the bosses you fight and the cool items you get to use and have. But a lot of that time is spent running through a certain area. And that is Hyrule Field. And I think that the Twilight Princess version of Hyrule Field is
the best.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so glad you nominated this.
I think it's the best version of Hyrule, like
I
a
think
Hyrule
so,
feels
too.
like. And they're all good, but this one has a really good hook to it.
It takes the cake for me. You're just running backwards because it's faster. Or whatever. But yeah, I think this, you know, gives you the same from the first round, what we were talking about, of just the going on an adventure and you're running across this gigantic field to go to all the different worlds and go to all the different levels. And I think it really captures all of that.
It does, yeah.
Yeah. Did everyone like Twilight Princess? I'm curious.
It's not one of my favorites. I don't like being the wolf. I found those sections kind of tedious. So that
I
damped it for me.
100% agree.
Yeah.
I liked Twilight Princess. I had fun with it. I do think that the wolf was weird, and I always got bummed when I got to a wolf part.
Yeah.
But I've been burned by this game. So
You have.
What do you mean?
yes. Do you remember there was like an item that was like an Oko or something? I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, the little weird
bird with a man face.
Yeah.
Okay, I have not researched anything. I'm just speaking off pure memory
creepy
from
little
10,
dude, yeah.
15 years ago. And I think I didn't, because this character, this item's use was you put him somewhere in a dungeon, and then when you die, right, you start back where you put this little bird guy, something like that. I'm pretty sure. Mm-hmm. Anyways, I thought I put him down. I didn't in the water temple, and I got all the way to the end, and I died, and I had to start all over from the very beginning.
Oh no!
And I turned off my GameCube, and I never turned it on again.
Oh,
Yeah.
You had it on the GameCube too, because it came out for both, right? I forgot about that.
So this that game burned me. I think I stopped after Water Temple because I was so angry.
I can relate to that.
I think I died, or I think like some connection issue in the game died. Something happened. Either my ignorance in not saving on time or something else. But
that happened with me in a Final Fantasy. I think it was Final Fantasy X, where I was just grinding to get my levels up, and grinding isn't fun. You're just doing because you're like, I haven't been getting
strong enough.
leveling up my guys enough.
Yeah.
So I just spent like a whole session grinding, and then got into a fight where I just like lost my whole team. I was like, I'm never playing this game again out of spite.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like, you know what? I don't even like you.
Yeah.
Legend of Poopy, more like it.
Sick burn tongue.
Yeah, thank you. I'm here all night, literally. So yeah, that's great nomination. I do like Twilight Princess. It has been a long time. I would be willing to come back to it to just revisit it if they were to remaster it.
I'm curious because I know that they announced that there's going to be, Skyward Sword coming back, which I'm very excited for. But I was really hoping that they would do what they did with Mario 35.
Yeah.
Of like,
we all
here's what I wanted was Wind Waker, either like Ocarina or Majora, and Twilight Princess or Wind Waker, or did I say Wind Waker already?
We all want Wind Waker, yes.
But you know what I mean? Like, I just want those on the Switch. I don't have my Wii anymore. I don't have my Wii U anymore. I don't have my N64 anymore. I don't have my GameCube anymore. But I want to play those games.
Yeah, totally. I 100% agree. Yes, that was the rumor for a while. Yeah, Ocarina of Time, Twilight, and Wind Waker. Those were the three. But
I would get him. I would totally.
I would spend an inordinate amount of money to have that on my Switch. Like I would
spent enough money.
It would be a
on,
conversation
like
with my wife.
3DS just so I could replay Ocarina of Time.
And that's a really good version of that game. Probably the best, quote unquote. Like they fix the water temple. They they make it. They streamline it. Same with Majora's Mask. They give you the tools you need to make all of that like remembering stuff like way better.
Well, I find with both of those games, like they didn't change it too much. It's like you're playing it, you're like, oh, this is exactly like how I remember it. And then you go back and if you ever go and actually play the N64 versions, you're like, oh wait, no, they improved this quite a bit.
They're very polygonal, those old versions.
It was funny because I had just booted up my 3DS the other day. I found it. I hasn't seen the light of day in years, and I was still charged and still could play.
Oh, wow.
And so I handed it to my partner, and I'm like, here, give it a shot, because he loves Breath of the Wild, but he didn't really play many other Zelda games. So I was like, try Ocarina of Time. And then he's, without even looking at the screen, he goes, where am I supposed to go here? And he was trying to find the sword in like right at the beginning, in the Kokiri forest or whatever. And I was like, you want to go into the little tunnel on top of the hill, and then you're gonna go straight right, left, down the hall, and then when you're at the end of the wall, it's on the right, you're gonna see a chest. And he opened it, and I was like, holy shit! Like I didn't even think, like it was just clockwork.
Yeah,
that's the McDonald's trial right there. That's
the
where
trial.
it ends. That's where it ends.
That's as far as you can get at McDonald's.
And it's so satisfying.
Trial. Yeah.
All right, well that's it for like. Listen, hey, that's my Navi. Hey. No, I can't do it.
Hey, listen.
We're going to take a quick break, and man, we are going to rank these somehow. I don't know how. I don't know. I'm scared too.
It's been so friendly. It's about to get real.
It's gonna get ugly.
I don't know. I like all of your nominations so much. I can't possibly argue them unless I hated that game.
Oh. All right. Well, let's take a break. We'll be back.
You got a shirt.
What?
Hey, you ever wanted to wear a new shirt?
That boosts your stamina and your magic and makes you look great too.
You could also get a matching hat, which will do double the bonus.
Hang on, is this going to help me solve the puzzles for this temple? And why can't I speak right now? I have a voice? What?
Your mouth is moving, but all I can hear is sit.
And just fell in a hole.
But I think if I can translate, I think what Link is trying to tell us is that if you go to podcavern.com, you can get all this great merch, and the kickback goes to the Podcavern team that brings you all this great content, and it makes you look great. What could be better than that? Right?
Wait.
Right, Link?
Navi, Amidna, Fee, whatever you are, whoever you are in this commercial, are you saying if we do that, do I get to solve this puzzle dungeon? Like, are we going to get out of here?
Yes, but also please recharge your controllers because your battery is dying.
Podcavern.com.
Top five, top five, top five.
Hey everyone, we are back. We held B, we did a spin attack, and we are ready to slice down this list of 12 into a top 5. Real question for you. Would that work in real life? The spin attack. Like, do you think that is a more powerful attack and more practical than just slashing with your sword?
I don't think so.
No, I would
don't know
fall
anything
down
about sword
instantly.
play, but it seems to make you a target more than anything else.
I get dizzy.
I'd get dizzy. And
Yeah.
just go, and fall over.
Because he spins more than once, right? He does a few in one go.
About 3, about a triple sow cow.
Really triples out. Yeah.
He does
Exactly.
end with like the superhero pose though. He kind of like just goes like he's like ready, like he's got the sword back up, his shield is
It's
ready.
true.
So like he's
badass.
ready to, but anybody behind him can just like shoot him with an arrow. So he's he's fucked.
Can I just say, like, what I really appreciate, going back to Wind Waker, like, you get that guy who trains you how to be, like, a better swordsman, and you get, like, more techniques as you go, so you can, like, dodge at the last second and then do, like, an uppercut slash, and, like, they need more of that in Zelda games.
Didn't they, in Skyward Sword, they had, like a temple area or, like, a gym sort of thing where...
Oh, yeah.
Behind
Where
the
he
Knights
was-
Academy.
Yeah, where he was trained as well, and there were all those logs that they got to... I thought that was really, really cool, too.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, that had the directional sword play with the
Yeah.
Wiimote. They really had to ingrain that in you.
They had to teach you.
It's
Yeah.
the only
They didn't want you to
thing
get scared and start
Yeah.
flailing your hand.
Yeah.
the Wii Motion Plus, the only time you really use that thing, except that and Wii Sports Resort were the only 2 games that I know used it. The Wii also had. Now I'm going down a Wii hole.
Wii hole.
That sounds weird.
Not
That
my
sounds weird.
no. Don't go down a wee hole. That's bad. You get infected that way.
Do you remember they at an E3 conference one year they announced like an accessory for the Wii remote where you plug it into the Wii remote and it was like a heart rate monitor. Do you remember this at all?
No.
They were going to sell that as a package because the Wii was all about fitness for a long time. That's why there was Wii Fit and stuff. Right. Yeah. So they're supposed to monitor your like, it just goes on your finger. It monitor your pulse, and I think they were going to try to gamify that.
Well, they did it with the Switch.
They did do it with a Switch.
Ring Fit Adventure? Is that
Love that game.
We're a Ring Fit fam here.
Oh yeah, yeah, love it. I told Kristine to get it during the pandemic. And do you have abs yet?
Nope. I ate a lot of carbs to keep me going this pandemic.
Oh baby. What else got me going in the pandemic is just video games and all these songs. We have such a big list of just beautiful, beautiful music in front of us. We mentioned it before. We all started off as friends. I don't know where the night's going to take us because it's going to be hard to choose. So what we got in front of us is the Ballad of the Goddess, which is from Skyward Sword. We have the Great Sea from Wind Waker. We have the Legend of Zelda main theme, Gerudo Valley from Ocarina of Time, Dragon Roost Island from Wind Waker, Song of Healing from Majora's Mask, Skyloft from Skyward Sword, Hyrule Castle Courtyard from Ocarina of Time, the overworld music in Spirit Tracks, the Forest Temple in Ocarina of Time, Lorule, I love that name, main theme and Link Between Worlds, and we have Hyrule Fields from Twilight Princess. So
I love the wide range of games. Like a lot, like the majority of the games are being featured on this, at least on our nominations. It's lovely to see.
we have a lot
Good
of
job, team.
3D Zelda games in this. Not a lot from like the 2D era, but I would say for myself.
Well, most of them are 3D at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
The only one.
If we're talking about the older games from the NES and the Game Boys and things like that, it's
right.
I don't know. A lot of those themes have been redone in a way and remastered into newer games, and them having the orchestral backup and the more, I don't know, space in the game that they could actually create, they're taking the same kind of like meat and potatoes from the original games and they're putting it here, or the inspiration. So I don't think that we've, ignored the roots. I think the roots have inspired what everything is now.
Totally. So what we should do is we should star nominations for further consideration. Of course, we can listen to the songs that we have up already if we need to like a little reminder of how the songs go. And some of these songs here, like some of the best parts of these songs haven't even been played yet. I'm looking at the Hyrule Field from Twilight Princess. My favorite part of the song hasn't even hit yet. So let's go with Justin. Do you want to star a nomination that isn't one of your own for further consideration?
Well, it's funny that you actually mentioned Hyrule Field. So that was going to be the one that I would want to star. That to me is an amazing. In my opinion, the best Hyrule Field theme. Yeah, that's going to be the star.
Cool. Spencer.
Gerudo Valley gets a star.
Yeah.
We all activated when that song came on.
There was a moment. It was like if we were all at a bar and that song played, we would all point it at each other and ran to each other in that moment.
Yeah. If there was like a jukebox at a bar and everyone else was playing like, I don't know, Red Hot Chili Peppers, the Black Keys, whatever it is, I'm going ahead and putting on Gerudo Valley and the whole bar is going to go flipping wild. Kristine, that's 2 starred on your list. So look at you. The least prepared, but look at you.
I didn't expect any of that.
Your courage pulled you through.
The courage.
What are you going to star?
I'm going to give mine to Ballad of the Goddess. I think that one gives me the heebie-jeebie shivers when I listen to it, and I was really happy to hear it.
Amazing. I'm going to... I have to star, just for further consideration, Great Sea. I think that song stirs something up inside of me, and I just... It's my favorite song on Wind Waker, for sure. Okay, so what we have is Ballad of the Goddess, Great Sea, Gerudo Valley, and Hyrule Field. Of course, we can star as many as we'd like. Hopefully not the whole list, otherwise we're not doing any work for ourselves. So how about we go ahead, and if anyone can chime in now and can star even one of your own, if you really want to fight for it.
I have 2 others I would like to star, but I'll like sit back if anybody else wants to add first.
Go for it.
Okay, do I do 2?
Go one first.
Go one.
First. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go with Skyloft.
Ooh.
That's good.
All right. Anyone else?
I gotta give it up for the main theme.
Of course. That has to be talked about.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say is it's cool that that song, they nailed it so perfectly. That song is Zelda, but they're able to, in the other games, create completely new main themes that also that you're not don't feel like they're in the shadow of the main theme. They feel like they stand on their own. They're also great, which is kind of amazing that they're able to do that so often. We didn't even bring up the Breath of the Wild theme, and that one is
oh my god, I know.
Oh, yeah.
Mystical. It's it has a completely different vibe than these other ones that are more triumphant galloping on a horse. That one feels more like majesty of nature itself, almost like.
Yeah. That's interesting that you bring that up too, because we don't have any Breath of the Wild on this list at all. And when I think about Breath of the Wild, I think about really muted type of music, because a lot of the time in that game it's just a little kind of dings and little sound bits that are happening as you're doing things. So whenever they introduce real music in Breath of the Wild, it's usually a big moment, storming Hyrule Castle at the end of the game kind of thing, and the music swells and you're oh my god, something's happening.
And the theme I'm talking about I don't think it even plays in the game itself. I think it plays over the credits or something and in the trailer, but not in the game itself.
Shout out to Breath of the Wild, great game.
Oh, yeah.
Justin, anything else you want to star?
I wouldn't mind. I have 2 potentially, but I can just do 1 right now. I would want further consideration for Dragon Roost Island. I think we all got quite excited about that one.
Yeah, definitely. All right. I'm just looking at this list here. For me, it's it's the whole list. I could do. I'm going to just star Song of Healing because it's different than the rest of the list, and we might need it later. And I really do like it a lot. So with that, I'm just going to go through what we starred, which is most of the list. But if anyone else wants to chime in and say, hey, this really should be talked about, now's the time. So we have Ballad of the Goddess, Dragon Roost Island, Great Sea, Song of Healing, Legend of Zelda main theme, Skyloft, Gerudo Valley, and Hyrule Field. So that's 8. The ones that aren't starred are the Spirit Tracks Overworld, Forest Temple, Lorule main theme, and Hyrule Castle Courtyard. Do any of those ones pop out to you that need to be also starred?
Well, one thing I was going to mention this later, but since you brought up Lorule, I find Lorule, Dragon Roost Island, and Gerudo Valley, they sort of overlap in certain ways. They all have that sort of flamenco guitar and the castanets, that same sort of flavor to them. So in my mind, I'm already thinking ahead, like, I feel like we only need one of those three. I brought up Low Rule just because for me, as I wanted to bring up like that moment of, that childhood experience of having my mind blown, and that song really captured it for me. I don't feel of the three, it's the one that's like the most likely. I think the other two could quite easily edge it out. Just thinking in terms of that, I feel like, we can kind of move past it, but
that's a hard
as great
one.
As it is.
Because Link to the Past is one of my favorite games, and Link Between Worlds is also one of my favorite games. And I also had that moment in Link to the Past when you hit the Dark World and you're like, what the fuck is happening? But that Dark World music is so just instilled in my brain. I know it. And it's something about that song too. Like, even though the world is to shit in this moment, because we're in the Dark World now, it's like Link is fighting against all of that, and the music reflects his courage, if you will, to fight through it, and I really like it. With that said, though, like, those other songs that we've mentioned probably beat it, I guess. I
just feel like the melodies are a little more earwormy. I don't know.
I would agree with everything you guys are saying. Like, I love the Low Rule theme. I think it's for all the reasons that you said, but I think compared to those other two that we're kind of comparing them against, it just kind of, it loses a little bit of its footing. And I really like the earworminess that you kind of mentioned, is the other ones kind of stick in you a little bit longer.
Yeah. Hyrule Castle Courtyard. Kristine, this is your baby. Do you want to fight for it at all?
I do not.
Okay. I like that it's there.
It was I threw it out as my unprepared self. And after I sent the link, I was like, which link did I send? And that one came out. And so I am not, it's a great song. I love it. I had a bunch other that you'll hear later in my Ani Mensch that I could have easily put instead. So I'm not, that is not a hill I'm ready to die on.
Okay. Forest Temple, Justin.
Yeah, I really love this one. I talked a lot about it, but I think compared to some of the other starred ones, even if I'm just comparing them to the other two that are starred of mine, this one would absolutely be the lowest rung one. I really like it, but I'm not gonna fight for it. I don't think it stands on its own compared to a lot of the other stuff on here, so I'm happy to see it go.
Okay. And Spirit Tracks is the last one. I adore this song. I'm just gonna play it out because I think it rocks. It's nobody remembers this song, I guess, but like even in the 25th anniversary, I keep going back to this orchestra because it's amazing. In the first minute of the entire opening of this whole CD, they start with Spirit Tracks, which is great. They know this is an earworm, so I'm just gonna play it out and then let it die afterwards, I guess. I hope I got to the right part where the main hook.
There's somebody who put a rule on the orchestra track. You sure do reference it a lot.
Look at that! That's so good! It makes me so happy. Oof. Koji Kondo really knows what he's doing. All right, so with that, goodbye, Spirit Tracks. Okay, so where do we go from here? We have 8 starred. Only have to cut 3. We could just do what we always do in every episode, which is locks. So those are your surefire things. Let's just go ahead and do that. So I'm going to read the entire list one more time, and we're going to say if it's a lock or not. If it's a unanimous lock, it will likely make our top 5. It's not binding, but it's just a way for us to navigate it. If one person says no, it's okay. You don't have to explain why. We'll just move on, and we can fight it out later. So with that, Ballad of the Goddess, lock or no lock?
I would lock.
I would lock it too.
I'm going to hold off.
Okay. Dragon Roost Island, lock or no lock?
I want to give that one a lock.
I'd lock that.
Yeah, I'll lock it.
Can I hear it again?
Sure.
I'm going to ask to hear every single one again.
Yeah.
That's what this episode is, baby.
Just put on one of those 10 hours of Dragon Roost.
Thank you very much.
Okay. And with that,
might be telling.
I don't know if I want to lock it.
that's okay. Great. Glad I played it. No, I'm just kidding. Do you need to hear it again? I can put it back on. So we have Great C is next. Lock or no lock?
Lock.
I gotta lock that one.
That's a
Lock.
big old lock for me. Wow. Finally came to a consensus. That's nice. Song of Healing. Lock or no lock?
No.
It's
It's great, but no.
Yeah, not yet. I'd like to see. It might fit in later if there's too much like adventure-y songs going on.
Yeah. Even as my own nomination, I don't think we can lock it, but I do think we still need to kind of discuss it a little bit.
I agree.
Yeah. Main theme. Lock or no lock?
Big old lock.
Yeah,
That's a lock for me.
no brainer.
Yeah, I'll lock that one.
Yeah. Skyloft. Lock or no lock?
I will
It's
not.
not a
lock.
lock.
Not a lock, even though I kind of wish we had like more than one of the like quaint villagey type
know,
music, so
I
that we
know,
could have something more to play with. Like
I
if we had
know.
Kakariko Village or Kokiri Forest or something. Those little.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
Skyloft is a really good representation of that feeling, though. So it's not like
Yeah.
it's
It's
still
my
up
personal
there.
favorite, but I don't know if it's like the most like I don't know,
Yeah.
iconic. I don't know.
Gerudo Valley. Lock or no lock?
Lock.
Lock.
I'd lock it.
Hell yeah.
Hyper lock.
Yeah. Ganondorf punch lock it. Hyrule
Pictures
Field.
of him with a locket.
Yeah. Hyrule Field. Lock or no lock?
No lock.
Okay. So what we have,
We have two
Things
full
are starting to get
locks.
testy.
we have 3 full locks.
What are the 3?
So we have
main theme.
Great Sea, main theme, and Gerudo Valley, which is a solid 3.
That is a good base.
Good base. And the rest are up for discussion. So I'm going to say those ones once more, and then we can just go from whichever direction. And if we got to listen to it again, then like, hell yeah, let's do it.
We'll be here all night.
Yep. Ballad of the Goddess, Dragon Roost Island, Song of Healing, Skyloft, and Hyrule Field. Where do you guys want to start?
So the reason that I was hesitant to lock Dragon Roost is I wanted to know everybody's feelings on Gerudo Valley because, as we'd mentioned before, it's got the similar sort of intro and, there's a similar feel to it. So that's why I was just, I don't get the same, heart fluttery, but maybe that's on me. Maybe I need to replay Wind Waker. Waiting for that 35th anniversary. Fingers crossed it'll come out. But that's where my mind was at, and I think that I don't know. I'm happy with what was locked. So for that, I'm like not super focused on Dragon Roost.
Yeah.
But if you guys are, then I'll for sure hear it out. But I'm looking.
No,
at
I'm
these-
leaning that the same way. Yeah.
Okay, just wanted to bring that.
I do like that reasoning. I mean, yeah, if we're kind of comparing Dragon Roost to Gerudo Valley, the two sound similar, and Gerudo Valley kind of sticks in your ear a little bit longer. And I think I want to have a little bit more of those kind of big, like anthemic songs that we've kind of nominated, like Ballad of the Goddesses, Hyrule Field. I think those ones are worth more contention than Dragon Roost Island. So
Yeah, I love Dragon Roost. I can see the comparison between the two. I think they are different in my mind because Dragon Roost is more of that Celtic feeling that we talked about with Wind Waker. It reminds me of like an island, which is like very much like kind of like Wind Waker 2 when you're sailing around too. But I do see the
I
similarities.
think a lot of it has to do with what Kristine pointed out about you don't hear guitar in a lot of Zelda music, and it's like so if there is a strummed guitar, you're automatically like, oh, these belong to the same sort of family.
And with that, and because we have so many good songs on here, I don't know as well if Dragon Roost would make it. So let's go ahead and cut it. Okay. Right. Oof, that's a big one.
But at least we got to listen to it one more time.
Yeah, that's true. Until you stopped it.
Okay, well, what am I going to do? Sit here for 5 minutes?
We got to finish the song. That's what we do. Okay, so
I feel like I want to revisit Hyrule Field from Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
Can we maybe listen to it a little bit more, refresh it in our brains, and maybe chat about it a little bit?
I mean, Tuong said he didn't even get to his favorite part.
Yeah, we didn't get to my favorite part of Hyrule Field. So I'll start with Hyrule Field is a 5-minute song, and a lot of songs in Zelda, they loop, right? It's you get a minute and a half, and then they just loop, and it's fine. Even the Spirit Tracks one, it's that hook. It's really, really good, and then there's a slower like bit of it, and then it goes back to the hook pretty quickly. But with Hyrule Field with Twilight Princess, there's like an arc to the actual like song itself, and I'll just go ahead and skip ahead to like my favorite part of it, and we can go back and forth with it, but here we go. I'll start with this part, and then it goes into my favorite part of it. It's got a little bit of build, right? And we kind of already heard this part a little bit, but just wait
trumpet.
for it. Yeah. It's coming in about, let's say, 10 seconds or so.
Don't feel awkward. We're loving it.
Yeah.
We're just along for the ride here.
I always feel awkward. I'm a gamer, Kristine. This
Yeah.
right here.
Oh yeah.
Like they didn't have to go there, but they went there, you know?
They didn't have to. It was already
looped
good.
it. They could have looped.
So I've
And they
got a
said
thought.
timpani.
I've got a thought on Hyrule Field. So unless we want to continue to play this out, sorry.
No. We
My
could play
apologies.
forever, but yes.
So I have a thought on Hyrule Field, and I think that this should be locked in. And my reason for it is I'm pretty sure when this was played, we all kind of collectively said, this is the best version of Hyrule Field. Like, this is what kind of brings us into thinking about this game. And the Hyrule Field is a theme that's kind of put into most Zelda games. Certainly not all Zelda games, but most Zelda games. And it's always great. But to say that this one is the best, that kind of elevates it.
Unanimously.
Yeah, and it elevates it.
I prefer Ocarina of Time personally, but
Oh, okay. Sorry,
I-
my bad. I misheard.
but I also I just don't have as much. I haven't played this game as much because of the wolf stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Damn wolf stuff.
But the song obviously is great, but it's probably just personal affection. But to me, when I think Hyrule Field, I think of the N64 one.
Sure.
That's fair. Okay. All right. Well, my argument kind of doesn't stand on 8 feet then.
I do like your argument. The only thing I'll go against Hyrule Field for just a second too. That beautiful part where it didn't need to go there, but it did. Like that type of swell happens in Ballad of the Goddess too. And that whole song is a celebration of all of Zelda. You know, we talked about how it's the reverse of Zelda's Lullaby, and it represents that song in general, which is also iconic, but also just the high adventure of what Zelda can be and is. So
I feel like for what is really good about this piece, I feel like there's other things we have that are, some of them are locked or some of them are up that also do it maybe even better. Like you said, Ballad of the Goddess and the Great Sea theme, that feeling of exploration of, the whole world's ahead of you. And then Ballad of the Goddess kind of summing up the history of Zelda, celebrating that, or even the main theme, is really the iconic melody of that.
let's put a pin on Hyrule Field because I'm not ready to cut it yet because I really do really like it.
Yeah, I think we should keep it around.
Let's go to...
Are there any we're willing to cut then?
Yeah, let's talk about Skyloft because that one's a weird one.
Yeah.
Because I love this song. It's really beautiful. We'll listen to it again in just a second, but it is tough, like you said, Spencer, because we don't have any of those other songs that represent this.
It's an
small
aspect of
town.
Zelda like Lon Ranch or Kakariko Village. Like those the simple daily lives of the people who live in Hyrule. It's like I almost want that represented on the list.
I'll
somehow.
Raise You, Outset Island from Wind Waker.
Oh
too.
yeah.
Which is my personal favorite out of the like small towny feel kind of thing.
So that's my argument for why I think it should be in contention.
It's a valid argument. Like it again, we talked about it when you nominated it. Is it's a reminder of what you as Link are kind of fighting for, right? Is the simplicity, the everyday life sort of thing. It's just tough when, as much as I love this song, it's tough when you kind of put it up against something like Ballad of the Goddesses, which it's not a fair comparison. They're not the same type of song, right? But it's hard to kind of level your mind a little bit to have them on equal playing field.
By its very like structure. It insists on itself more, so it seems to be more like worthy of
Sure.
of praise just because it's like bombastic. Whereas these songs are more just like they're just trotting along, living their lives.
And if I always like a varied list on our top 5 whenever we can, because it just represents the full breadth of the topic more than just like the guns out type of feeling of it. But let's listen to some of it, and maybe that'll stir some emotion. It's very beautiful.
Little xylophone back there. I just love how many little instruments are featured here. It's so cool.
Ah, shit. I like it a lot.
Fuck. It's almost like tropical Celtic. Like it's a weird, in a good way, like kind of melding. I don't know. That's tough. Okay, so maybe let's put a pin in that one then.
Yeah.
Let's we're just putting pins everywhere.
Yeah,
let's
pins.
talk about Song of Healing a little bit. Let's talk about Song of Healing a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, I love this so much. I mentioned earlier, it makes me emotional to listen to the song. It opens up like a different window into the Zelda games that you don't really expect or even understand or appreciate, maybe. But I think now that I'm older and have a little bit grander understanding of bigger themes in life, I think I really start to appreciate that, not only the game more, but just that song in general. And I don't know, I just like how different it is from everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's play some of it. Definitely like a melancholy feel to it.
It's haunting too.
It's like
right? Like
5 different notes too at the beginning, and it's like. Also, I'm just picturing Skull Kid, and it's freaking me out.
Yeah, like fucking kid.
That's the thing. That's the thing with Skull Kid too. Like you kind of feel. This is not
bad.
related to the song in any way, but you feel bad for Skull Kid. He's just been. He's been ostracized
Outcast.
from society,
Yeah.
and he loses his friends because he's manipulated essentially. And again, as a kid, you're just like, oh, he's a bad guy, but yeah, you kind of start. When you think about it, you feel for him a little bit. And again, it goes back to the Song of Healing. You're healing him from this essential curse or whatever that's been put on him.
I like your argument.
Yeah, it's a good argument. I like it.
I'm getting emotional.
It's tough because Skyloft and Song of Healing, they represent 2 other sides of a lot of these. Like I wouldn't even group them together. They're totally different things. Like one of them is like this quiet sadness type of song with Song of Healing. And it's painful and you can feel it, but it's also beautiful. And then Skyloft is that like everyday type of feeling too. And we don't have that anywhere else on this list. So like there could be an argument that both of them belong in a way.
I'm feeling that too. Yeah.
You know what's crazy is when we were like, okay, let's go through the other 4. In my mind, I was like, okay, Ballad of Goddess and Hyrule Field. But now as we're talking, I'm like, no, Skyloft and Song of Healing. Like,
yeah, that's tough. But Ballad of the Goddess is so fucking good too.
It's so fucking good. It's so cool that it's Zelda Lullaby backwards, and it's so cool that it's just everything about that song is dope.
Okay, let's listen to that one because that's the only one we haven't listened to out of the other ones. So here we go.
And this one sort of sounds like the Avengers, so I know.
Yeah, this is that.
So Tuong likes it even more.
It does. It does.
This is tough. This is obviously incredible. It's obviously beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't even know.
As far as thematic wise, I'm reminded of like exploration and big and I'm on a journey to save the world and stuff like that. Is it too similar to the one that we've locked in already, which is the ocean theme?
Oh,
Right.
question.
They're not the same. I'm not saying they're the same, but they kind of have they kind of have similar
Same genre.
Same genre, yeah.
But-
Exactly. Same
so-
feel, same mouth feel,
The same mouthfeel, yeah, same texture. The Great Sea reminds me of just like this openness to explore an unknown space of the sea, for example, right? Like that's what that is. Where like Skyward Sword is like what Spencer said, and this is probably why I do like it, is that Avengers type of thing where it's like
Triumph.
throwing down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's triumph. It is like you're a hero. And I don't get that from Great Sea. You're more of an explorer when it comes to Great Sea, and those were like the two differentiating factors of those two songs. So I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with that, other than like I think this song
And
rules.
if I could throw in, I think the third one that fits into this little trifecta, this Triforce, if you will, is the main theme. Which, if one is about exploration, feeling small in a vast ocean, one's triumphant, being the hero. I feel like the Legend of Zelda, the main theme, kind of touches on both those things, and I feel it has the widest breadth of, it kind of signals at the royalty and the goddesses that kind of surround the story, and you as an adventurer within the story fighting, and the mysteries and solving puzzles as well. Like, it kind of contains musical elements that point to each of the core concepts of a Zelda game. The argument I'd make for that in terms of let's call it the hero theme, the adventure, the main, because
Sure.
like there are main themes in all these games, right? I think Battle of the Goddess and the Great Sea and the Legend of Zelda main theme are, they're almost fighting for that spot. If we're going to include other things like Song of Healing, Gerudo Valley, etc.
Oof, yeah.
Well, we got to think of it in a different way. Like, we can't look at it as, here's the adventuring song. We have to make sure we have one song with a we have to have one song that's like, you know what I mean?
I think me and Tom think like that, though. We were like, we want one of
I
each.
definitely think like that.
But that's not what we're doing here. What we're doing here is the top 5 Zelda games. Or not Zelda games, Zelda songs. Sorry. Top 5 Zelda games. That's a good one, too.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
But songs. So I don't think we should look at it with the lens of, oh, but we didn't touch on a slower song, or oh, but we didn't. You know what I mean?
I agree with you, but
Whatever.
the reason I think it is maybe important to think the other way too is that the big adventure themes are bombastic and insist upon themselves and really like crowd the room. So it's almost like you gotta be like, hey, let's let the little guy talk too, and then Skyloft theme comes in. And goes,
Yeah.
hey, I'm not that loud, but I've got some good qualities too.
Are there any out of the 4? I guess this is a question Tung should ask, so maybe I should just write it in the
Go
chat
ahead.
for him to
Do
say.
it. Do it. Are you saying, is there any out of the 4 that we
Anybody's not, like, anybody is willing to cut. You know what I mean?
What are the 4?
I think so. It's Ballad of the Goddess.
Yeah.
We have Hyrule Fields, Skyloft, and Song of Healing. And for me, after the discussion of the 4, and we listened to all 4, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think it's Hyrule Field that would probably go out of the 4.
I didn't want to say it
for
first,
me.
but I agree.
Yeah. But I'd be curious to hear the rest of what you guys have to say.
It pains me to say it, but I would agree. Like, I don't know. I find it easy when I'm doing this, like when I'm doing these lists. So like, I have to compare them to one another, not necessarily because they're similar, but like I just compare them next to each other. And comparing it to Hyrule Field compared to Battle of the Goddess, I enjoy Battle of the Goddess more. I think
I agree
feels
with you
more,
there.
And comparing it to Skyloft, I love the in a good way, simplicity of Skyloft. And Song of Healing, I love the emotion that comes with Song of Healing. And I don't think you get either of those 3 factors as much in Hyrule Field, as much as I love it.
I think that's a fine one to cut.
Okay. So just as a reminder, we have Great Sea locked in, Zelda main theme locked in, Gerudo Valley locked in. So that's our 3 that's locked in, the ones that are in contention. And we need 2 more, which is Ballad of the Goddess, Song of Healing, and Skyloft. So we get to keep 2 of those, and that's it.
Okay.
So one of them has to go.
Can I hear Great Sea again?
Yep.
Oh, he might get rid of Great Sea if he doesn't.
I just
like
want to
what
hear
he
it again.
hears.
My gun's in the holster, guys. I'm not...
Yes. Justin, it's totally that. You're holding onto like the mast and you just have like 1 foot on like the bow or whatever the fuck. Yeah. And you just have like, you're looking out in the great blue ocean.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I think I know what my top 5 would be at this point.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Holy.
Bold.
I'm just saying.
Wow.
The gun is out of the holster.
Yep.
Spencer,
Everybody duck.
can I ask you, would you keep the original 3 that are locked in right now in your current top 5?
What were the 3 that are locked in?
Great Sea, Main Theme, and Gerudo Valley.
I would lose Great Sea.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why? Come at me. No, I'm totally kidding.
Just not because it isn't great, but I think between Ballad of the Goddess and the main theme, like to leave room for variety, I feel like those two cover the same sort of ground in a more emphatic way, and then we have room for something a little mysterious and strange like Song of Healing, something a little more pastoral and simple like Skyloft, and then fan favorite Gerudo Valley. That's not going anywhere.
The sanctity of the locked nom is dead.
I'll tell you one thing on that, Spencer, is what I don't appreciate. No, I'm just kidding. What I don't like about that is that I already said that I think Wind Waker is one of the, for me, like probably my favorite soundtracks in the Zelda franchise. And if we lost Great Sea, I would really make me sad because we wouldn't have any Wind Waker to represent the list.
That's a good point. That is really. It is like it was my favorite Zelda game for years until Breath of the Wild came out, and the soundtrack is amazing. And
I'm only doing that to throw a wrench and everything, but like also like I would really hate if no Wind Waker songs made this list. That would suck.
Oh God.
Well, I'm open-minded. I'm not
for sure
set in my ways here. I'm just saying what.
So out of curiosity, let's just jump off from where you're starting, and maybe we can like generate discussion from that. Is like if you were to drop Great Sea, were you going to take Ballad of the Goddess instead? And like
Ballad of the Goddess would make it on there.
Yeah. Okay.
If you drop Great Sea, you could take all 3.
Yeah, you could take it. Yeah, that's right. But no Wind Waker. Isn't that a crime?
I don't. I keep going back to when Great Sea like started playing at the very beginning of the pod, and all of us collectively just like we just get like it was like this sigh of like, oh, we're on the ocean now and everything is okay. Like it was at least it was
that is true,
and I'm sure a lot of it, as is obviously I think the majority of this playlist, nostalgia is playing a massive part in this, and
totally.
That's okay. But is there an argument to kind of let that go a little bit?
For the musicality's sake?
Exactly. Like, I agree with Tuong. Like, for me, soundtrack-wise, Wind Waker is probably my favorite Zelda soundtrack. And it's definitely in my top 3 Zelda games. But I was also playing them at a time when that was all that mattered to me in the world. It was my video games. And is that kind of clouding my judgment a little bit? I have no message there. There's nothing helpful there. But I'm just
open-ended question.
It's good open-ended for sure. I don't know. Great Sea makes me feel something different than the other songs do, I guess. Like it's I don't know how else to word this because I've said it a million times, but that sense of adventure and the sailing, it's something like
there's an openness to it.
There is
a possibility, right? Is what.
Oh, great! That's a great word. And it's not about the like Ballad of the Goddess. You're gonna go fuck shit up. Like that's you're gonna go like
it's an anthem. It's like you're here to save the day. There's no question about it.
Same with the main theme. Same thing with the main theme. It's that sense of being a hero.
I agree with that. The main theme in the overworld theme in the game, but the intro version introduces.
Yeah,
it's holding the diamond at different angles. It's showing you the different. It's like one thing. It starts with the sort of like pomp and circumstance, dives right into like peril and danger, then into like adventure, and I think it just is so emblematic of everything that is in the core elements of every Zelda game.
I would like to say something bold.
Okay.
I think I know which one I would cut.
Let's hear it.
I think I would cut Skyloft.
Okay.
As much as I love it, and I agree that it's great to have a village song and the towns and all of that to feel, the environments of where everybody is. It doesn't hit me emotionally as much as Ballad of the Goddess or Song of Healing does. It doesn't transport me as much as Ballad of the Goddess and Song of Healing does. So I would say my top 5 is the 3 that we've got locked plus Ballad of the Goddess and Song of Healing. But that's just me, folks.
I don't hate that. I don't hate it.
I could see that, and I like how you spoke to like the emotion aspect of it. Like, we obviously all love the Skyloft theme, and I'm not saying one way or another getting rid of it or anything, but when you're comparing the emotional impact that these kind of in these 3 songs here they're kind of playing to you, Ballad of the Goddesses and Song of Healing do hit you on an emotional level, I think, in a different way than Skyloft does.
Yeah. I think you're right.
You've never said that to me in a podcast.
I know.
You always told me
shit
to
on
shut up.
Kristine.
I definitely, what you're saying like resonates with me too. But the only counter argument I could say that is that Skyloft isn't an emotional song, and that's not its purpose. It's like there are the songs in Zelda that are just meant to just paint the background color. It's just like, this is like, because those people aren't going through big swings of emotion. They're just with a smile and a nod doing their daily job and going back home and living lives of quiet simplicity. So they aren't meant to stir your emotions in that same way.
But I would argue Skyloft for me is kind of like an emotional song, like in the way that it resonates and shows and radiates with that energy of being simple and stuff like that. And like the way that music kind of stirs and those little like that's going on in the song, it's just like there's something to it that is really just a beautiful piece of music.
It paints a picture.
It definitely does. But if I were to be like we've already kind of talked about like those other songs that are like this in the whole Zelda pantheon and canon, like I would probably still take other songs over it to represent it.
Yeah.
What would be the one that you feel would like fill that slot more? Kakariko Village or?
Yeah, but mine would be Outset Island. Probably.
Outset, right?
Yeah. I
I also think
right.
if we were to take one song out of those 3 from Skyward, I would pick Ballad of the Goddess over Skyloft.
Yeah.
Right.
That's good.
Okay. Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. Yeah.
It's a hard cut, but
Sorry to be so bold.
No. We had to get somewhere tonight. We still have honorable mentions for God's sake.
Here's the thing, though, is like we fought. We were all very cordial about it. There was a long discussion about that, so it's a testament to Skyloft's quality, right? Like just outside of it, I don't know.
I agree.
Oh yeah, at this point we're not talking about which ones are good or bad. We're talking about
that's true.
Which ones are like slightly greater than the other ones.
yeah.
Our list of 12 is incredible. Like that is already like I can't believe we made it this far.
Yeah.
But we finally made it to 5, and now we got to rank them. So let's start with 5. Once again, sorry, I'll say it again. We have Ballad of the Goddess, Great Sea, Song of Healing, Zelda main theme, and Gerudo Valley. We can listen to some of these again. In fact, I want to listen to the main theme again because it's slightly different, right? So.
Cloaked rider in the night. Just like
Yep.
and the call and response becomes a harmony and just he wrote this overnight.
Beautiful.
There's a lot of reasons to suggest that this song should be near number 1, honestly.
You know what? I was thinking about this today, And between the Mario main theme, if you will, and then this, I think I would take this over Mario. I'm
would
not
take this.
tired of this song.
I would too.
And the Mario song, maybe it's because that gained such huge popularity and it's kind of everywhere or whatever, but there's something sacred about the main theme to Legend
There's
of
something
Zelda.
that feels more mature about Zelda for some reason.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know, if I were to walk in and just hear dee 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 dee, I'm like, okay, kids playing a game. This is fun. Love this. Grew up with this. But if I hear dun, 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 I'd be like, oh my god, yes, let's go. Like, I'm in. It's me.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you all agree because there's something really special about this main theme.
Yeah. Well, and again, we've said it numerous times. It's permeated throughout the rest of the series. Like, it wasn't just like, we're throwing this in and it's iconic, but it's only stayed in the first game or two. Like, no, there's this has remained the entire time, and there's iterations and
it's
versions
grown,
and stuff like that.
which is something that I think you can't say as much about Mario.
Yeah.
And,
Mario from the beginning till now is still, maybe I don't want to say something that might be incorrect. You guys did a top 5 Mario soundtracks, but I don't feel like it grew as much as Zelda has in its I don't know, compositions.
Oof, I don't know. That's a tough one too.
Is that bold to say?
It's a bold one.
It is.
I could be wrong.
Mario Galaxy was a huge. Anyway, we did that already.
We already did that one. I guess the core thing is the guy who did the Zelda songs also did the Mario songs, so he has a hand in both of them, and they evolved
Legend.
with his
living
capabilities. Legend. Yeah. But anyways, that's not that podcast. I do think this song in particular is much. Because a lot of times when we do a ranked episode, it's kind of like we pick the obvious thing because it's the legacy pick. We have to pick it, We feel like an obligation to pick it. And then part of that's still here for this one. But like this song is actually really, really, really good. And it can really fight against these other ones.
It accomplishes so much in like a minute and 25 seconds that it's like...
Right. So it's not just a legacy pick for the sake of being there. It's a real contender because of how good it still is.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I thought we were looking at number 5.
I've got to throw down for number 5.
Hit it.
Because of how different it is, and I would say "Song of Healing" is number 5.
I like
personally.
that.
Yeah, I think "Song of Healing" is great. Really happy I made the list, but
me too.
It'd be higher on my personal list, but I think compared to everything else and taking into account everybody else, it would be number 5 on this one.
I really wanted that one, I'm glad it was either that or Forest Temple. I wanted something that represented the sort of more
dark,
dark, mysterious, and perplexing almost element.
There's a lot of creepy parts of Zelda.
Yeah,
it's not all adventure.
Yeah,
there's a lot of really creepy stuff.
Yeah,
that hand
those
in the
dead
Shadow
guys who
Temple.
scream at you and then you're frozen. What are they
You
called
gotta
again?
use the lens of truth to see ghosts and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's creepy.
Man, yeah. Ocarina of Time is a scary game.
Not as scary as Majora's Mask, though.
That's true. That was also a scary game.
Or Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
Man, there's some scary games out there.
Spooky.
Spooky
Top 5
stuff.
spooky games. Number 4. What are we thinking here?
I'm not against Great Sea at 4. Maybe I'm crazy.
No, that sounds good.
I'm okay with that. I love Great Sea. I love it. But I don't know. Zelda games at the end of the day is that adventure aspect of it, and like there's these other ones are so like in your face about that adventure aspect of it that it's hard to ignore.
For me, 4 and 3 would be Ocean Theme and Gerudo Valley, and I'm not saying one or the other, but if 4 and 3 is Gerudo Valley and Ocean Theme, and I just don't know which one. For me personally, Gerudo would be 4 and Ocean 3, but I'm probably biased because that's my pick. But
I would put Gerudo higher than 4.
Gerudo just it's so good, man. I like it at number 3, but I'm not going to fight either way. I could be swayed on that one.
I'm fine with it 4. I'm fine with Ocean at 4. That's not a big deal.
I would say like for me, Justin, I would probably be in that camp with you, but I think for this collective group, it would make more sense if Great Sea was at number 4, especially because like it almost got chopped off, right? Like we were.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Getting there. So Wind Waker, Great Sea. Okay. But I don't even know if Gerudo's 3, to be honest. Like we're really getting into it. So we have Ballad of the Goddess, the main theme, and Gerudo. Do we need to listen to any of these to freshen our memory?
I can play them all in my head, but
Let's play Gerudo. We've only played it once.
Let's listen to it again.
Let's all sing in harmony. Boys, you go high, I'll go low.
Oh, we're not doing it.
It's hard to sing along over Zoom. Where
It's true. And I'm sure the audience would much rather hear the actual song than us.
it's so good.
The song builds really well.
It does.
It really does.
Reminds me of those old spaghetti westerns.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Tongue realized something.
No, I'm just thinking how great this song is. And it's hard because, like, to me, Gerudo Valley is also the most obvious choice in many ways to be.
It's a fan favorite.
Yeah, it's this could be number 1 in a lot of lists, you know? It's just so iconic. Ooh. Damn. Ay, ay, ay.
Yeah.
That's a spicy meatball.
I don't know. I might want it higher than 3, but
Yeah,
I'll
me
leave
too.
that up to
I
you
don't
guys.
know.
It's my pick, so I don't want to be that person.
Ay, 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 ay,
Wow.
ay.
Is Ballad of the Goddess number 3 then?
It's seeming that way.
I don't know. I don't know.
Tongue looks lost.
I don't know. Where am I? Whose podcast is this? I don't even know what I want number 1 to be. I can see any of these, honestly.
Fan favorites are they're like there's a reason it's a fan favorite.
Yes.
It's because it's fucking awesome. That's why
Yeah.
it's a fan
It's
favorite.
like
But is it
everyone
our
acknowledges
favorite?
it's amazing.
Is it our favorite?
Everyone acknowledges it.
It's my favorite.
So my ranking would be 3 is Ballad, 2 is Gerudo Valley, and for me 1 is the Legend of Zelda like
theme.
intro
Yeah,
or the theme
I agree.
because it encapsulates everything. That's my personal ranking. That's how I kind of feel about this. I don't think Gerudo should be number 1 or anything like that, but it's almost a disservice to put it at number 3 because we're aware of how much it's a fan favorite and we're putting it at 3 because we don't want to be a fan favorite-y.
Oh,
Who cares?
I hate it. You're right.
You know what?
I needed to hear
That's
that.
what I was thinking for numbers 2.
Yeah.
Wow. This
Yeah.
sounds like consensus.
You're right.
Wow,
I
look at
love
this.
Ballad of the Goddess. I think it's awesome. I mean, it's made
Yeah.
all these fucking songs made top 12, and now we're at the top 5. Like we're really picking up random details to like pick
Yeah.
apart right now. So I think at the end of the day, the most obvious choice in a lot of ways, it makes so much sense because it encapsulates everything that Zelda is in the past and what it is today. And when we hear it, it's just it excites me for the, whatever next adventure Link's gonna go on.
Yep.
You know.
These
All
are
right.
all from 5 different games too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of nice. Yeah,
We
that's
did good.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. At number 5, we have Song of Healing, Majora's Mask.
Starting off sad.
Yeah, start us. All right, and number 4, we have Great Sea. At number 3, we have Ballad of the Goddess.
Oh man, that opening's so good.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, I'm so happy.
Oh, at number 2, we have Gerudo Valley. Ooh, it is really good. it's really good. Okay, and number 1, of course, we have The Legend of Zelda, the intro main theme. Zelda!
Ooh, the beat dropped when you said
Ooh.
I love the little like din,
Yeah.
which is just the sound of when you get hit in the game. It's the same sound.
That's right. They only had a few sounds to work with then.
Yeah, it's just
All right, well, excuse me, princess. We still have honorable
you
mentions to
said
do. That show is terrible, but it has the best catchphrase.
that show is
Okay.
the best.
So what
And
we're
that's
gonna
the
do,
song they used for the theme song for that show too.
They did do
version.
that.
Yeah.
They almost ruined that song, but they didn't. So what we're gonna do is for honorable mentions, of course, since it's such a meaty topic, we want to be able to at least shout out one more song from each of us, and then we'll just rapid fire the rest. So I'll have Justin, if you want to go ahead and just throw me any old song here.
Yeah, this is the first Ani mensch. I had a hard time not choosing this one. It's kind of a redub of Hyrule Field.
Also Majora's.
Also from Majora's, yeah.
With the flute. So pretty.
But then you get a little different here.
Oh, yeah.
It starts the same as the other Hyrule Fields, but then they go elsewhere.
But it's a little bit eviler.
That's good.
I do think this is a great song, but I do think it's good it wasn't nominated because it's the Zelda main theme.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's
So in
true.
the end, obviously, it wins. But
yeah, in a big way.
I took
it
the
already
OG.
won. Termina Field, there you go. Spencer, hit me
Okay,
with
so
an honorable mention.
Since you did that, I'm thinking maybe I'd choose a different one for my honorable mentions, but I'm actually going to pick one that does a similar thing, which is a variation on the theme. Just let's hear another version of it. This is from Link's Awakening. It's from Tal Tal Heights.
This game's really good. It should
Yeah,
not have
the-
been $90,
The
but
way
it's
they
really
redid
good.
the soundtrack is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Ooh. Love it. Christine, hit me. Honorable mention.
So we're not saying a bunch of stuff. We're just sending one song.
Send a song. You could say something for 30 seconds.
No, I'm not gonna bother. I'm gonna pick something weird though. Like something that I knew I picked knowing it was gonna be an Ani Mensch. Because I picked stuff like I had like Lost Woods, Clock Town, like
Yeah,
Palace
all-
theme from Zelda 2. Like I had some like
All
Song of
great
Storms,
ones.
shit like that. Like that was fun. But this is my weird one. That honestly, I don't know, brings me a lot of joy, and it's out there.
It's going to be the horse race.
No, but that would be dope.
Is it Groos's theme?
Yeah.
It is. This one's all, and I love how many variations there are on it. Like the one where
there's,
he's like smitten, and it's like
Yeah,
like
romantic
yeah.
Groose. And
romantic Groose theme.
so this is just, I love this one because it's so Gaston from Beauty
Oh
and the
my
Beast.
god, it's Vulcan's skull. It's
Yeah,
Gaston.
it makes me so happy. As soon as you called and said, Art, we're gonna do this podcast, I wrote down Groose.
This is a really memorable piece.
This is fun.
Yeah. Oh my god, I could see the top comment. Imagine playing this at a funeral.
That's great. For my honorable mention, oh my god, there's so many of them. I wish we can play them all. But let's just go with the one that I was mentioning all this entire podcast. I think it should be heard. Outset Island.
Aw, so happy.
It is good.
I'm so glad you played it, because like hearing the name of it, I'm like, I don't know what song that is. And then you play, I'm like, I know exactly what song this is.
It's the
Just didn't know the
starting
name
island,
for some
yeah.
reason.
It's just so it's just quiet, it's beautiful, it's before the entire
It's
adventure
innocent.
starts.
It's like
Similar feelings to Skylaft. Yeah,
Exactly.
I totally get it.
All right, so holy jeez. Okay, Justin, how long is everyone's list, by the way? I assume it's pretty long, everyone?
Too long.
Too long? Okay.
Not too long, but it's a long one, yeah.
Okay, Justin, go ahead.
From Link to the Past, Overworld, The Lost Woods, Hyrule Field, and Kokiri Village from Ocarina of Time, Clocktown from Majora's Mask, the main theme from Wind Waker, like when you're first starting before the menu, Farewell Hyrule King, which is like an alternate version of Hyrule Castle, I think is beautiful. And then Ordon, Hidden Village, Midna's Lament, and City in the Sky from Twilight Princess were all contenders for me.
What's Farewell Hyrule King? What's that from?
Wind Waker.
That's from Wind Waker.
Okay.
Spencer, hit me.
Mine's not that long. So the intro, Ballad of the Goddess, Skyloft, Lon Lon Ranch, Gerudo Valley, Lost Woods, Dragon Roost, Dark World, Zora's Domain, which we didn't mention.
Oh, yeah.
Tal Tal Heights, Forest Temple, and Kokiri Forest.
Nice. Kristine, Steen.
Okay, so I had Ocean theme and Ballad of Goddess in mine as well. So Song of Storms from Majora's Mask, Palace theme from Zelda 2, Goron City from Ocarina of Time, Lost Woods from Ocarina of Time, The Potion Shop from Ocarina of Time. Really fun.
Yeah.
And I have Clocktown from Majora's, and I also had Zora's Domain.
Nice.
That's awesome. Even after all the ones we mentioned, there's still a few that were like, oh, yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
It's true. Dark World, Link to the Past. I'm just trying to find the ones that we haven't mentioned too much. Yeah, Lost Woods, Kokiri. Breath of the Wild, the main theme is freaking crazy good. We're looking at Errol's theme from Wind Waker as well.
Oh, yeah.
I really like that one. Just Zelda's Lullaby.
Oh, yeah.
A great fairy fountain theme. I think that's also iconic. That's in many. One that's never mentioned, this game is just forgotten in time, the Minish Cap. Minish Village is a really, first of all, great game. Awesome game.
Yeah.
I wish I could play it again, but it's like a GBA game. But yeah,
Yeah, and
Minish
it's never
Village
been
is
re-released on anything, yeah?
Yeah, exactly. Another one of those Toon Link type of games from the Phantom Hourglass Linebeck's theme. Really, really good as well.
That's a good one.
Breath of the Wild, Hyrule Castle, when you're storming that thing, so fun. Ocarina of Time, Horse Race, like, yeah, it's just.
Isn't that though? That's like the same song.
Yeah,
in
you're doing the Mario slide.
Yeah, it's basically the Mario. Yes.
Okay.
And Zelda 2, bad Zelda game, great theme. The Palace theme, you can hear it in Super Smash Brothers.
Yes.
That's how I know it. Another Wind Waker one is Mulgara Battle. That one's really good. I recommend checking that out. And in Breath of the Wild, one more is Prince Sidon's theme is really good as well.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure we're missing a bunch, but
For sure.
yeah, great
Each
topic,
game
everyone.
has like 10 hours of music. Of course, we're missing a bunch.
Yeah, it's true.
And there's like a million games. It's been 35 years.
Yeah,
But I think
oh,
we
man.
touched on a lot of the like most significant ones. I think we covered a lot of ground.
Totally. Yeah. Oh, what a journey we just all went through. Man, we went through the young Link phase to adult Link phase. We stopped the moon from crashing into this podcast. And look at us. Look at us now. We've defeated Ganondorf's too easy. What's that guy from Skyward Sword's name? The guy that has a really complicated
Demise.
name.
Irahim or
Gurglum? Gurgi? I don't know. We defeated him. He's supposed to be really bad. Justin, thank you for being on the
Yes.
podcast.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me back.
I know when we did top 5 Mario songs, I know you listened to that podcast and you messaged me, and I was already planning this already, but you messaged me being like, you have to put me on the Zelda Songs episode.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you feel satisfied?
I'm very happy that you did.
Great.
Oh my God, yeah! Like this is it's awesome to have 3 other individuals who care as much about Zelda music as I do doing this. So I appreciate it. Yeah.
Do you guys know how hard it is? And first of all, I wouldn't pick any other crew. This was an amazing crew to do this, just to have like people who are passionate about video games, specifically Legend of Zelda and its music. That Venn diagram is really hard to find people. Also to people who want to be on a podcast. thanks for everyone on this cast. But Justin, do you have anything to plug for the people at home?
Yeah, you can find me on two of my other two podcasts. Pull the Plug, ptppodcast.com, where we talk about pop culture with acoustic music, and we make like dick jokes and make fun of each other. It's a really good time. And then I'm also on another podcast called Four Turntables and a Microphone, where we talk all things vinyl and music news. We make fun playlists. It's a good time. So that one is 4taam.com.
Fantastic. Spencer, thanks for being on the cast again.
Thanks for having me. I love talking about video game music, and Zelda and Mario is some of my favorite.
What do we do next? What other Nintendo
Donkey Kong Country, baby?
I was just talking the other day with somebody about those Donkey Kong bongos they had for the GameCube. Donkey Kong.
Congo bongos?
That was a fun game.
That game was sick.
You got to do a little like just to make Donkey Kong run, or you hit both at the same time for him to jump.
Oh, that one. I was thinking of the like Guitar Hero type one where you play along to songs.
There was that one too. Yeah. You had to play the bongos. It was
awesome. It was great. I liked playing the bongos. I like having a really big plastic instrument for one game only. Spencer, what do you have to plug for the people at home?
Right. I'm Spend More on Twitter and Instagram. I post art on Instagram, and if you go to spendmore.com, you can see some silly animated music videos I've made.
Great.
So it's all Spend More.
Right on.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Spencer's a very talented artist. Everyone should definitely check it out.
I'm going to follow you. I like art.
Kristine, you did it. You're here.
I did it. I'm here.
You didn't even need to prepare an extra day. Look at you.
Look at me. Notes all over the place.
Exactly. And, you've been usually on the podcast, I'm like, why did Kristine fucking nominate herself on this episode? Or something like that. Today was not the case. Everything you nominated, bangers.
Thank you so much. I can't wait for the next 100 episode anniversary where you guys won't tear me apart for this one.
We didn't tear you apart. We love you. Kristine, do you have anything to plug for the people at home?
No, I don't actually. Just, everybody stay safe, home stretch. Hopefully we can all be together again soon.
Yeah, Kristine is also just super funny, talented improviser who I hope will hit the stage again in maybe the end of the year, maybe early next year. We'll see where we're at.
Who knows?
You'll make those people laugh again, the
internet will know before me.
Yeah, true that. And for myself, you can find the rest of the shows in the Pod Cavern at www.podcavern.com. Check out all the shows in there. Use the Amazon affiliate link. Buy yourself a nice little Pod Cavern t-shirt. And yeah, I'm so happy we got to do this episode today, guys. This was a lot of fun. So before we leave, I think we all have to do a group spin attack together to sign ourselves off. Okay,
my
hold B.
headphones have cables.
Yeah, hold B, hold B. We're holding it. In 3, 2, 1. Bye, everyone.